Hi, welcome back to a new video, and in this one we're going to be looking at the Q3 2022 content drop for RFactor 2. So RFactor 2, the title that still drives me to distraction by the fact that I absolutely love some parts of it and other bits of it just make me want to tear my own ears off in frustration. It's been like that since the very first time I played it. I very much doubt it will ever change. Don't change on me, RFactor 2. Don't do it. No, actually do. Make yourself better. You could be absolutely stunning, but you insist on being stupid in so many areas. So, what have we got? Well, we've got a big update for a start that has pushed through a load of new updates around such things as track limits, exit violations, loads of other stuff around the flag rules, increased support for up to 16 input devices. 16! That's insane. They put a load of other stuff in there, tidied up the graphics, apparently tweaked the UI. It's still only passable, but there we go. More importantly, they've done a load of stuff with the physics, particularly around dynamic track temperatures, that's the right word, based on weather conditions and the cars driving on the track. So basically they've made the track temperature more dynamic than it was, and also the ability to load temperatures from real road files into it. There's also a load of other stuff, some of which is in test, some of which isn't, mainly around traction control, tender springs functionality, ABS and things like this. I'll leave a link to the full patch notes down below for you to go and take a look at and basically digest to your heart's content. But we've then got the content. Now, the content is not cheap because RFactor 2. So most of it is around about £4 per item, although you can save a little bit of money by buying the two BTCC cars together in a pack, and one of them is free. So let's have a look at what we've got, and we'll start off first of all with the track, which is the Worldwide Technology Raceway, which, to be blunt, is an absolutely appalling name for a track. I said this on last week's weekly update when we knew this content was coming. It really is a terrible name for a track. As an oval, it's okay. It's a relatively shortish oval and it's alright. Its main downside is not so much the fact that it's an oval, or even that cars drive badly on ovals within RFactor 2. The main problem with it lies in the fact that the AI drives badly on ovals in RFactor 2, which does kind of limit the oval layout on it. However, it does have a road circuit using part of the infield and probably around about half of the oval as well, and that's much better. It's a good fun, fairly straightforward little layout, but I quite enjoyed putting a few cars through their paces around it. So yeah, that was an interesting one. I didn't mind that. So it's a reasonable track. Whether it is worth your money or not really is up to you, because 50% of it, arguably until they update the AI, is of limited value, shall we say. Just one track in this content drop. What we've mainly got is vehicles, so let's talk about what we've got here. So first of all, we have the Caterham Academy. Now this is your freebie, this is the one you don't have to pay for, and in all honesty it's a really nice one for them to add free as well. The Caterham Academy, I've driven a range of Caterhams over the years at a range of tracks in reality, and this is an absolutely excellent representation of just how adjustable and maneuverable they are, and it's an absolutely great drive. It really is. Stunning car, really good fun to put together, a lap in, and just one that I really enjoy. It tells you a hell of a lot of what's going on in the car through the steering, through tactile setups that I run. So yeah, wholeheartedly recommend this one. After all, it's free. We then move on to the paid content, and in terms of this, we've got first of all an Austin Mini Cooper S, an old school one at that. So This is really good fun again. It's as a Mini should be, really active rear end on it. Because it's a race spec one, you've got more front end grip than you might imagine, but it will wash out wide if you get too silly. But basically it's very throttle controllable, and you can get the back end to step out quite sillily if you abuse it. You've also got to watch out for the curbs in this one. It's a similar story with the Caterham. These are light cars, and the Mini is a shorter wheelbase as well, so curbs really can upset it, but you can use that to your advantage as well. But it's really good to get a flowing lap going in it and throw it around. Great fun all round again. We then come to the 2 BTCC cars, which brings our total BTCC grid to, I believe, 4 cars now. And first of all, we have the Ford Focus BTCC, which, yeah, it drives excellently, as you would expect. The front-wheel drive touring cars, as we know from the Toyota that was released previously, are extremely well modelled, and the physics engine within RFactor 2 works really well for these. It does. It's properly throttle adjustable. You can feel the front end diff doing its work, so that you are quite literally dragging the car around the corner. The amount of front end grip on these things is absolutely huge, which is as it should be, and the rear follows it, so you can get the rear end to step out. But unlike a rear-wheel drive car, catching these and controlling these, even from some really silly angles, is exactly as it should be. Point the front wheels in the direction you want to go, bury the throttle, the diff will do the work, and claw you forward, straightening the rear up. So it just drives exactly as you think it should do, which allows you to abuse the crap out of the car, which is just great fun. And that's how it is with touring cars. You watch these things race, that's how they go. And then my pick of the bunch, and I'm very biased on this, the Hyundai i30 BTCC. Now, the reason why I love this, and the reason why I say I'm biased, is because I own an i30N Performance. In reality, it is my daily driver. But more importantly, I don't own the hatchback. I own the fastback version. And that I am aware, and please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on this is the first time that a fastback i30N has been included in any title. I know Race Room has a lot of i30s in it, but they're all i30N hatchbacks, not one fastback. This is the first time a fastback's been in there, so I'm actually really chuffed, because this is about as close to my car as I can get in a sim racing title. It's still a long way removed from my car, but as with the Focus, this drives exactly as a front-wheel drive touring car should drive. It's great fun to throw around, and what we're seeing here with RFactor 2 is a burgeoning amount of content around front-wheel drive touring cars, and they're using the Motorsport Games license for the BTCC to bring the content into RFactor 2, which, and the last time they brought some BTCC content out, and I got a lot of hate in the comments for this, but it does seem that Motorsport Games are double dipping to a degree here. But now we've got the news that we don't even have a release date yet for the BTCC game. It was supposed to be at some time during 2022. It's now 2023 at the earliest, and we really don't know when it's going to come out. So at least the content is getting some use, and if I can be really blunt about this, I'd rather have the content in a title that at least I can get working and racing and is decently featured, even if it's quirky to the nth degree, like RFactor 2 is, than have the BTCC game be the unholy mess that NASCAR Ignition was, where basically you had the underpinnings of RFactor 2, you had some licensed content in there, and the rest was just a hot mess that didn't and still doesn't work particularly well to this day. So I don't know what's going on with Motorsport Games. I don't know what's going on with the BTCC game. I'm not enamoured with technically paying for the content here and then maybe having to pay it for it again in a BTCC game, but it is what it is. Is this content good? Absolutely, yeah. It's really good. Is it good in RFactor 2? It is, with the caveat that RFactor 2 is still just really bloody weird and quirky and annoying and does some things amazing, particularly the physics and the force feedback and the driving and other stuff, like just about everything else, particularly the UI, the load times, the stupid way it installs content. 30 minutes to get it up and running it took me. 30 damn minutes, which is absurd. So yeah, it's still the title that divides me. All the people who think I'm being unfair to motorsport games and RFactor 2, please eviscerate me down in the comments. Go for it. I really don't care. It helps the engagement. There we go. So that's my thoughts on it. If you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button. If you haven't enjoyed it, hit the dislike button. I really don't care. But if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content comes out. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Bye.